a great deal of time to play with a new defense partner, and then all of a sudden, bang, the playoffs are here. How much more beneficial does it become that that partner is Luke Schenn?
Yeah, it's huge. He's a great guy on and off the ice, and pretty easy guy to play with. You know where he's going to be. He's simple and plays the game hard. So it's been good, and he's been a good guy to learn from too.
How, as much as you want to play the same way in the playoffs that you want to play in the regular season, it's amped up. Is he a calming influence on you? Are you guys talking a lot out there? Is he reminding you a lot of things?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, personally, he's been calming, and I think for our group too. You know, he's been through this before many times, and obviously a Stanley Cup champion. So calming influence on our group in general, and he's been a great addition.
Talked about learning from him stylistically. Is it easier to learn from a guy like that whose game maybe more mirrors what your game is?
For sure, it's nice to watch him and see how he plays and how hard he works at his game, you know, on practice days and in the gym. So definitely someone I've looked up to, and you know, if I can take some stuff away and you know, when you think about the future, if that's me in 10 years, I'd be very, very happy. So a great guy to look up to, and he's been a great teammate.
I didn't think there was anyone you looked up to.
Yeah, a few. There's a few.
Can you imagine what it would be like to play a playoff series like against your own brother?
No, I mean, if it was my brother, he'd be chasing me around the ice, and I would want nothing to do with him. But my brother's not that good at hockey, so no, it's got to be, you know, a little bit weird for them. But they're both professionals, and I think they'll handle it well.
We saw a couple of instances where I think you could best label them as over-exuberant penalties by the St. Louis Blues for someone with your role that you know, you can make a huge impact with impact. Is that a line you have to ride right now, that it's effective but not over-exuberant when you make physical contact?
100%. You got to stay disciplined in the playoffs, and you can't be going shorthanded too many times in a game. So try to find that line and you know, stay right on it. And I think it goes for everyone. Try and stay out of the box as much as we can. They obviously have a good power play.
Do you think you have a good handle on that with the experience you've been able to build up?
I think so. Yeah.
Speaking of riding that line, it's easy to get into hitting and take yourself out of position. You've had a couple big hits down the stretch here. What do you think you've kind of taken away or learned from finding that line of getting that big hit but not taking yourself out of position to do it?
Right. You don't want to give up positioning, and sometimes a stick check is just as important as a big hit in the right moment. So just trying to have good timing, and if you are going to, you know, throw a hit, don't let it take you out of position. And you know, I think there's, you know, early in the playoffs, everyone's jacked up, and sometimes it's difficult not to try and be a little more aggressive. But I think just playing your game and try and stay physical the best you can.
One of the underrated things about Luke Schenn has been maybe his first pass in his own zone, and that's something that you guys, you know, have keyed on. Getting the puck out, transition's a big thing for you. How do you give each other space just to make sure you get your breakouts right?
Yeah, I think lots of talk is huge, and then you know, we work on it in practice all the time. You want to get those touches, and your first option is usually your best. So if you see that wall guy, you're snapping it up to him right away and try and push the play up the ice. So I think just trying to move it quick, get back hard for each other, and lots of communication.
You mentioned stick checks. Have you ever do you know what your wingspan is on those stick checks?
I don't know the exact number, but it's got to be pretty good.
With Scott Arniel, I know you guys had him as an associate before he became head coach this year and everything. And what are his strengths as far as communication? It sounds like that's one of his big things with you guys is just constant communication.
Yeah, he's very good at communicating with everyone. You know, it might not be every day, but you know, he tries to check in with everyone, you know, week to week. And you know, one thing about Arnie is he's very passionate about the Winnipeg Jets, and he cares very much. So it's been a pleasure to play for him.